In the not-so-distant future, Earth had finally embraced a semblance of peace. The establishment of a unified global government, known simply as the Earth Coalition, had marked the end of centuries of geopolitical strife. Humanity, now a singular entity, had its gaze fixed on the stars, with the first human colony on Mars flourishing and the moons of Jupiter earmarked for exploration. Dr. Lena Miroff, a leading astrophysicist, stood on the balcony of the International Space Observatory, perched on the edge of the Chilean Andes. Her eyes, reflecting the starlit sky, were focused on her datapad, which displayed disturbing anomalies in the outer sectors of the solar system. The readings suggested massive, unidentifiable objects moving at an unprecedented velocity towards Earth. As Lena deliberated on her findings, she was abruptly summoned to the main control room. The observatory, a nexus for Earth's space monitoring network, was buzzing with a palpable tension. Screens filled with data, scientists and military advisors hustled about, and the large central hologram showed real-time images of hundreds of unknown spacecrafts advancing towards Earth. Dr. Mirov, look at this trajectory alignment, one of her colleagues pointed out, his voice a mix of awe and apprehension. Without warning, the sky outside lit up with brilliant flashes of light. The alien fleet, no longer just blips on a radar, filled the atmosphere. Silent but ominously present, their ships hovered in formation, a stark contrast against the darkness of the night. At the United Nations headquarters in New York, emergency meetings were convened. World leaders and their top military officials gathered in hurried confusion, receiving live feeds from observatories around the globe. The Secretary General, a calm presence amid the chaos, addressed the assembly. "We must attempt communication immediately," he declared, his voice steady, "and prepare for any possible outcomes." Back at the observatory, Lena and her team worked feverishly to establish a line of communication. Every known frequency and language, from mathematical sequences to musical patterns, was broadcasted towards the fleet. The response was a chilling silence. As hours passed, public broadcasts urged calm, but panic was inevitable. Cities worldwide saw their night skies illuminated by the hovering fleet, causing widespread fear and unrest. Governments deployed their armed forces, more in a show of defiance than any realistic anticipation of defense. The night grew deeper, and just as the first hint of dawn approached, without any provocation or further warning, the alien ships moved. In a synchronized, calculated manner, they began their attack. Brilliant beams of light shot from the ships, targeting major cities and military bases. Monuments, parliaments, and homes were reduced to ash within moments. The initial ambush was devastatingly effective. Earth's defenses, though robust and technologically advanced, were not prepared for the scale or the sophistication of the attack. The alien technology was beyond anything humanity had encountered or imagined. As the chapter closes, the Earth is left reeling under the impact of the assault. Amidst the rubble of what was once the United Nations building, the Secretary General survives, grimly preparing to coordinate what could only be called a resistance. He looked around at the survivors, determination etched on every face. "This is not the end," he vowed. "We will find a way." This first chapter sets the tone for a story of survival and resilience, as humanity faces its greatest challenge yet. As dawn broke, the scenes across Earth were of unimaginable devastation. The coordinated strikes had left a trail of destruction that spanned continents and oceans. Major cities, once bustling hubs of culture and commerce, were now smoldering ruins. The initial shock had given way to a profound silence that enveloped the planet, a silence punctuated only by sporadic emergency sirens and the distant cries of the afflicted. In the temporary command center established underground in what was left of Geneva, leaders and military personnel from around the world convened in a desperate bid for coordinated action. The room, a hive of activity illuminated by the harsh glow of emergency lights, echoed with the voices of strategists and analysts. "We've lost contact with over 40% of our outposts," a general announced grimly, marking red X's across a digital global map. Vice Admiral Liu Mei, appointed as the head of Earth's makeshift defense force, stepped forward. "We need to assess our remaining assets and regroup," she declared. her voice cutting through the clamor. "Surviving units are to converge on designated rally points. We're not out of the fight yet." Meanwhile, on the outskirts of what used to be Paris, small groups of survivors gathered, trying to make sense of the night's horrors. Among them was Alex Rennert, a former aerospace engineer, who was now using his expertise to help coordinate local rescue efforts. He and his team moved through the debris, searching for survivors and salvaging any useful technology. Back in Geneva, Dr. Lena Mirov provided the scientific perspective. "These attacks were precision strikes, likely aimed at crippling our communication and military capabilities," she explained to the gathered leaders. Her data showed patterns, suggesting the aliens had complete knowledge of Earth's strategic points. As they strategized, another wave of attacks began. This time, the targets were less predictable, hitting smaller towns and remote facilities. It became clear the aliens were intent on wiping out any potential resistance, no matter how insignificant it might seem. In the chaos, a clandestine group of government officials and scientists, including Lena, was whisked away to a secret facility. There they formed what was known as Project Phoenix, a last-ditch effort to devise a counterattack using any available technology and research. The chapter closes with Lena in the secure confines of the Project Phoenix lab, looking over the remnants of a downed alien scout ship. It was a small victory, the first piece of alien technology fallen into human hands. As she examined the alien tech, her resolve hardened. "We start here," she said, her team nodding in agreement. "We learn, we adapt, and we strike back. Humanity isn't going down without a fight." This chapter sets the stage for the human response, blending desperation with a fierce determination to reclaim their world. Project Phoenix was more than a mere military response. It was a beacon of hope. Hidden in a fortified underground complex in the Swiss Alps, the project had become a melting pot of the world's brightest minds, summoned to turn the tide against the alien invaders. The project was overseen by Vice Admiral Liu Mei, who believed that innovation would be their primary weapon. Dr. Lena Mirov was at the heart of this initiative, surrounded by experts in fields ranging from quantum physics and materials science to artificial intelligence and cryptology. Among them was Dr. Hiro Tanaka, a renowned expert in electromagnetic weapons, and Dr. Elsie Chapman, a biologist specializing in alien ecosystems, a field that had abruptly moved from theoretical to urgently practical. Their first task was to understand the enemy. Lena held the fragment of the alien scout ship, a complex mesh of unknown alloys and energy circuits, as she addressed the group. "This technology is generations ahead of ours," she observed, her voice echoing slightly in the lab. "But it has weaknesses. It has to." The team worked tirelessly, dissecting the alien technology under strict security. Every discovery was cataloged and shared in real time with sub-teams tasked with finding practical applications for defense and offense. Outside the lab, the world continued to reel under sporadic attacks. But inside, the focus was singular. Hiro and his team uncovered that the alien propulsion system relied heavily on a form of magnetic levitation that was susceptible to high-frequency EMP bursts. "If we can generate a strong enough pulse," Hiro theorized, "we might just knock their ships right out of the sky." Meanwhile, Elsie worked on understanding the biological samples from the alien wreckage. "Their cellular structure suggests they're acclimated to high radiation environments," she noted, pointing to a holographic display of twisted, DNA-like strands. "This could explain their interest in Earth's ionosphere." Communication systems, heavily damaged in the initial attacks, were slowly being restored. Alex Rennert, using salvaged alien components, managed to establish a makeshift network of communications. Dubbed the Phoenix Net, it allowed survivors and resistance cells worldwide to coordinate and share intelligence. As the chapter concludes, the team at Project Phoenix made a breakthrough. Lena and Hiro successfully tested a prototype weapon, a directed EMP cannon, proving effective against a captured alien drone. The success brought a new energy to the team. "We have our weapon," Lena declared, her eyes alight with a mixture of fatigue and fierce determination. "Now let's make it count." The chapter ends with preparations underway to mass-produce the EMP cannon. while resistance fighters, including Alex and his network, begin to rally, spreading word of the new weapon and coordinating strikes using the Phoenix net. Hope was on the horizon, but the looming threat of another alien assault was ever present, adding urgency to their mission. In the secret corridors of Project Phoenix, anticipation ran high as the team finalized the design of the EMP cannon. News of the breakthrough spread through the Phoenix net, reigniting spirits and rallying the fragmented resistance cells around the globe. The once isolated pockets of survivors were now a loosely connected web of rebels, all linked by a shared goal and a newfound weapon. Meanwhile, Lena Mirov and her team were not satisfied with merely one line of defense. They expanded their research to develop a series of smaller, more portable EMP devices that could be used by ground forces. These devices were designed to disrupt alien technology on a smaller scale, ideal for sabotage missions and guerrilla tactics. In a fortified lab, Hiro Tanaka supervised the first batch of EMP cannons, overseeing their integration onto Earth's remaining fighter jets. The retrofitting process was grueling, with mechanics and engineers working round the clock under his watchful eye. Precision is key, Hiro reminded his team. Every millisecond counts when you're aiming at a moving target that's trying to vaporize you. Simultaneously, Elsie Chapman's biological research bore fruit, revealing vulnerabilities in the aliens' armor that were susceptible to certain radioactive isotopes. Armed with this knowledge, the military strategists devised a plan to deploy radioactive traps in known alien patrol areas. Alex Rennert, now a key figure in coordinating the Resistance's efforts, led a daring mission to deploy these traps. His team, a mix of military veterans and civilian volunteers, moved stealthily through the ruins of a small town, setting up the radioactive isotopes at strategic points. Their movements were covered by snipers, positioned in the hollowed-out buildings, watching for any sign of alien scouts. Back at Project Phoenix, Lena reviewed the deployment plans for the global assault. It was a massive, coordinated strike involving air and ground forces, scheduled to take place in sync across different time zones. Each unit was tasked with specific targets, primarily aiming to disable the alien command ships identified through weeks of surveillance. As the hour approached, fighters took to the skies, their jets now equipped with Hiro's EMP cannons. On the ground, troops moved into position, their nerves taut with anticipation. In the command center, Lena and Vice Admiral Liu Mei monitored the progress, ready to adjust tactics on the fly. The attack commenced at dawn. EMP bursts lit up the sky like new stars, colliding with alien ships in spectacular explosions of light and electricity. Ground forces engaged using guerrilla tactics, their portable EMP devices disrupting alien tech, causing confusion and halting their advances. The chapter culminates with a particularly intense scene where Alex's team, after a tense standoff, successfully detonates a radioactive trap as an alien patrol unit passes, effectively eliminating the threat in that sector. The victory, though small in the grand scheme, was symbolic, showing that the aliens were not invincible. As the day ended, the Resistance had managed to reclaim several key locations, establishing safe zones and disrupting alien supply lines. Despite the heavy losses, humanity now had a fighting chance and the tools to challenge their oppressors. This chapter serves as a turning point in the story, transitioning from despair to aggressive action, as humanity takes its first real steps towards reclaiming their planet. Following their initial success with the EMP technology and radioactive traps, humanity's resistance movements grew bolder. The newly formed Earth Defense Alliance coordinated a global strategy, with Alex Rennert and his Phoenix net at the forefront, ensuring seamless communication between resistance cells. This chapter explores how disparate groups worldwide adapted to and pushed back against the alien occupation, highlighting their ingenuity and resilience. In North America, a former park ranger named Maya Santoro led a group of survivors in the Rocky Mountains. Using natural terrain for camouflage, they developed a series of hidden bases, from which they launched hit-and-run attacks on alien patrols. Maya's familiarity with the wilderness allowed her team to evade alien detection technologies, turning the mountainous landscape into a deadly maze for the invaders. Across the Atlantic, In the ruins of Paris, a former chef-turned-guerrilla leader, Claude Giraud, organized a network of underground bunkers connected by old metro tunnels. Claude's group specialized in sabotaging alien supply lines, using homemade explosives and repurposed alien weapons. Their operations breathed new life into the resistance, providing vital resources and hope to the beleaguered survivors. In Africa, Dr. Nia Abassi, a brilliant engineer, devised solar-powered drones that could silently surveil alien activities and distribute supplies to isolated communities. Her drones became a lifeline for many, allowing resistance groups to coordinate large-scale movements without exposing themselves. Nia's innovation also helped in mapping alien strongholds and identifying patterns in their patrols, which proved crucial for planning strategic assaults. Meanwhile, in Asia, a retired schoolteacher named Haruto Takahashi transformed a network of schools into training grounds for resistance fighters. Under his guidance, civilians learned not only how to defend themselves, but also how to hack into alien communication systems. Haruto's pupils became adept at intercepting and relaying crucial intel to the Earth Defense Alliance, significantly enhancing their operational effectiveness. Each story converged on a central theme: adaptation. Humanity was learning not only to survive, but to strike back effectively. The Resistance's efforts culminated in a coordinated attack on several alien command centers identified through Haruto's intelligence network. The chapter reaches its climax during this ambitious operation. In a coordinated sequence of events, Maya's team disables an alien communication relay in the Rockies using EMP charges, while Claude's fighters in Paris launch a simultaneous assault on an alien fuel depot, causing a massive explosion that cripples part of the alien fleet. At the same time, Nia's drones provide real-time updates, allowing forces around the globe to exploit emerging weaknesses in the alien defenses. The chapter ends with the Resistance celebrating these small victories, which symbolize the turning of the tide. Yet there remains a palpable sense of urgency as the alien invaders start to regroup and adapt to human tactics. Lena, back at Project Phoenix, realizes that every victory brings new challenges. The path to reclaiming Earth would be fraught with hardship, but for the first time since the invasion began, there is a genuine sense of hope among the people of Earth. They were down, but not out, and every act of defiance stoked the fires of rebellion that were now burning brightly across the world. The Earth Defense Alliance, now a robust network of resistance cells linked by the Phoenix Net, planned their most ambitious operation yet, a direct assault on the alien mothership orbiting Earth. Success would cripple the alien command structure and potentially turn the tide of the war. The chapter traces the meticulous preparation and the daring execution of this critical mission. As the alien fleet adapted to terrestrial guerrilla tactics, Lena Mirov and Hiro Tanaka refined the EMP technology to target the mothership's specific vulnerabilities, which they had identified through the combined efforts of Haruto's intelligence and Nia's surveillance drones. The plan required a two-pronged attack. A spaceborne strike team would infiltrate the mothership to deploy a supercharged EMP device from within, while ground forces launched a synchronized global offensive to prevent the alien fleet from coming to its aid. Alex Rennert was chosen to lead the spaceborne team due to his proven leadership and deep understanding of alien technology. His team comprised elite operatives from around the globe, each a specialist in areas such as combat, engineering, or communications. They trained in a secluded base, using a combination of virtual reality and captured alien equipment to simulate conditions they would face aboard the mothership. Meanwhile, the ground forces prepared for what was dubbed Operation Thunderstrike. Maya's mountain fighters, Claude's urban saboteurs, and Haruto's networked defenders were positioned to initiate attacks that would distract the alien forces and cut off any reinforcements. Nia's drones were upgraded to carry small-scale EMP charges, ready to disable any alien crafts attempting to assist the mothership. The night before the assault, the resistance fighters around the world took a moment to reflect on their journey. Personal stories of loss and hope were shared over makeshift campfires and in hidden bunkers, reinforcing their shared commitment to their cause. Despite the gravity of the situation, there was an overwhelming sense of camaraderie and determination. As the 0 hour approached, the spaceborne team launched in a stealth shuttle, using a trajectory that mimicked space debris to approach the mothership undetected. The shuttle, piloted by a former commercial astronaut, evaded the alien scanners, reaching the mothership just as Operation Thunderstrike commenced on Earth. The ground assaults went as planned, with EMP strikes and explosive sabotage creating chaos among the alien ranks. The aliens, focused on quelling these uprisings, were caught off guard as Alex's team breached the mothership. The team moved with precision, navigating the labyrinthine corridors of the alien vessel to reach the core, where the EMP device needed to be placed. In a climax filled with tense moments, the team encountered alien resistance. A fierce firefight ensued, with the humans using every bit of their training to overcome the extraterrestrial soldiers. Alex, at great personal risk, managed to install the EMP device, setting it to detonate on a delay to allow his team time to escape. The chapter closes with Alex and his team narrowly escaping back to their shuttle as the EMP device activates, sending a cascade of energy throughout the mothership. The explosion that followed was not just a physical blow to the alien fleet, but a symbolic victory for all of humanity. The mothership, disabled and adrift, marked the first significant defeat of the alien invaders. Back on Earth, the news of the successful mission spread like wildfire, igniting celebrations among the human settlements and further bolstering the morale of the global resistance. The victory was a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humanity, now truly united against a common enemy. After the successful assault on the alien mothership, a palpable shift occurred across the globe. The alien fleet, thrown into disarray by the loss of their command center, struggled to maintain control over Earth. Human resistance movements capitalized on this moment of weakness, launching continuous attacks to reclaim their cities and countryside. This final chapter reflects on the aftermath of humanity's daring assault and looks ahead to the future. As the alien forces retreated, scattered and leaderless, Earth's united factions worked together to secure and rebuild. The ruins of once great cities became sites of bustling activity, as people returned from hiding to reclaim their homes and lives. In the spirit of a truly global community, the Earth Defense Alliance transitioned from a wartime coalition into a peacetime governance body, focusing on reconstruction and the prevention of future threats. Lena Miroff, now hailed as one of the heroes of the New World, led a scientific council dedicated to studying and repurposing the alien technology. This council, comprised of experts like Hiro Tanaka and Nia Abasi, aimed to ensure that such technologies were used for the betterment of humanity, and not for spawning new conflicts. Their work helped launch advancements in energy, medicine, and transportation, accelerating human progress by decades within just a few years. Alex Rennert, having returned from the mothership mission, took a significant role in forming a new planetary defense force. This force was not just designed to protect against possible future alien threats, but also to oversee the security of Earth's burgeoning space exploration initiatives. With the alien threat neutralized, Earth resumed its missions to Mars and beyond, now equipped with far superior technology and a deeper understanding of the cosmos. Maya Santoro, Claude Giroux, and Haruto Takahashi, among others, were celebrated as leaders of the resistance. They toured the world, sharing their experiences and insights, which helped to galvanize global unity and cooperation. Their stories were taught in schools as examples of courage, innovation, and the indomitable human spirit. However, not all was peaceful in the aftermath. The alien invasion had left deep scars on the planet and its people. Many had lost loved ones, and the ecological damage was profound. Addressing these challenges required global effort and resources, and it occasionally sparked conflicts over priorities and methods. The New Earth government worked tirelessly to mediate these conflicts, promoting a message of shared responsibility and mutual benefit. The chapter concludes with a ceremony commemorating the anniversary of the EMP assault on the mothership. Leaders from around the world gathered to honor those who had fallen and to celebrate the resilience of the human race. The event featured the unveiling of a monument depicting a globe surrounded by diverse figures, all reaching towards the sky, a symbol of Earth's unity and renewed purpose. As the sun set on the ceremony, Lena looked out over the assembled crowd, feeling a mix of sorrow for the past and hope for the future. Humanity had faced extinction and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more united. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in human history, the stars were not just lights in the night sky. They were destinations. This chapter not only wraps up the story of humanity's survival and triumph, but also sets a hopeful tone for the future, suggesting that the greatest challenges can lead to the most profound transformations.